Hey, this is Matthew Brenner from Double Your Dojo. I am here with Felicia. Say hi, Felicia.
Hello.
And we're here today to talk about how she's taken over a martial arts school and really grown it through lots of different strategies, but one of the main ones being through schools and daycares. And you're going to see how she did that, kind of like step by step, and where she started and where she's at now. So before we do that, Miss Felicia, can you tell us a little bit about like your background?
My name's Felicia. I am 35 years old. I run a school in North Wales. We just opened a new location in Collegeville. I run the school in North Wales with my husband, and we've been there for 3.5 years. But I've been with my school for teaching karate, um, gosh, since I was 19, so for a very long time.
Cool. And then I know you're at a different location at some point, and then you moved to this new location.
Yes.
So, tell me a little bit about like that transition. Like, what was the school like when you kind of like took over as like the new manager, program director?
Sure, yeah. So when we first got there, the previous instructor was kind of just not really into it anymore. It wasn't his thing, and he kind of let the school slide under a little bit. Um, but however, they had a really great base, and their older enrollment director was amazing. So, she kind of kept everything together the best she could. And she was so helpful. But when we got there, it was really just about making new connections, meeting all the families, kind of figuring out what their goals were and getting them to where they needed to be. And then really getting our name out, whether it be through daycares or events, and just kind of like building back the relationship in the community that the school used to have.
Got it. So, building rapport with the new students, and of course, have like the new marketing of the new faces of the school,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, what challenges did you have like specifically with that, especially with the marketing and new student recruitment?
Um, I think maybe in the past, the school had some relationships, and, maybe they weren't there anymore. So it was more just kind of trying to rebuild relationships with, different daycares and schools and things like that.
Got it. So they might have had a good relationship at some point, but eventually it fell apart, and now
Exactly.
you had to restart it. Got it.
Yes.
So, what did you like implement to reigniting those relationships? Like, what advice or strategies might I have given you that helped you like reignite those relationships so you can recruit new students from those places?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of, instead of just sending an email, actually like showing up in person and, talking, making sure you go introduce yourself to make that connection instead of just like emailing and hope they'll write you back.
Got it. Got it. Okay, cool. So when you show up in person, was it kind of like a guess, like what to say, or you kind of had like a strategy tactic in mind?
I believe it was all mapped out. A lot of times I would send my husband over to do it because he's such a great people person. But I know he like whatever you went over with him, he had that before he actually went in. So that was pretty awesome.
Okay, cool. And so you went back, you reignited these relationships with schools and daycares, and then like, what did you do with them?
Um, you know, I think especially the daycares, it's just we do a lot before COVID, and now we're starting to get back in, which is nice. But a lot of you know free programs where we go in for like a half hour, 25 minutes for the 3 year olds, the 4 year olds, the 5 year olds, and just like maybe teach them about confidence or teach them if they're a little bit older about anti-bullying. And what's really awesome is like this the past 3 days I've gotten 2 calls from local daycares for us to come to them in the summer. So I don't even have to call them, which is fantastic.
Cool. So you built such a good relationship that they're reaching out to you, right? Very, very cool. And like, what has the like results been? So you joined back to school. It was a kind of a downslide, um, and you took over as the program director manager with your husband. Where was it at then, and where was it at? Where's it at now, financially?
Financially, I think when we first started, they had just dipped under 30, so they were at like 28. Um, I know we're grossing between 60 and 70 a month now.
Amazing. So you've like over doubled the size of the school.
I guess so, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's super cool. And where do you think you'd be if, let's say, you didn't reignite those relationships with daycares or schools, and you just tried Facebook ads or you just tried other areas of recruitment, and didn't build a relationship as like the expert in the community, where do you think you'd be at right now?
I don't know. I know that it's certainly helpful. Everything, I know we still will constantly get calls of, people who are interested in classes, and it's, oh, you guys were at our daycare, when my son was 5, and he still talks about it.
Cool. So you get stuff like months later. You didn't even if it's not immediately after. I'm sure some people come immediately after, right? Which is important. But some people come like months later because you built that rapport.
Yes.
Cool. And if there's anyone watching this and they're on the fence about working with me or my team to help them build their martial arts school to double their dojo like you did, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, do it. Like anything new that we know is going to work, it's going to help. So if you can make a bigger impact in your community, why wouldn't you?
Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this and you're like, hey, this is cool, I want to know the exact strategies and tactics and scripts behind it to make this happen for my school, reach out to me directly. You can check us out at doubleyourdojo.com. Thank you so much, Miss Felicia. Have a great day.